Have you ever wondered what truly drives a woman crazy about a man? Welcome to another revealing video that will change your perspective and equip you with the knowledge to become that high-value man you've always wanted to be. Today, we will delve into a fascinating and nuanced topic, the 5 weaknesses of women when it comes to men. And no, it's not about exploiting these weaknesses but understanding them to forge stronger and more meaningful relationships. If you're new to this channel, we focus on the alchemy of seduction, self-development, and tactics that will make you stand out as a true alpha male. Because when you understand the subtle dynamics that drive attraction and connection, you not only improve your love life but also become a more confident and competent version of yourself. So, get comfortable, grab your notepad, and get ready because this knowledge might be exactly what you need to take your relationships to the next level. Let's dive into it. 1. Need for emotional security. This is a fascinating and crucial topic when it comes to relationships and what women consider fundamental in a partner. Now, some might think that providing emotional security is a sign of weakness or submission, but let me tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. Offering emotional security is a sign of strength, control, and true value. Let's start with the basics. Emotional security doesn't just mean being there for someone when things go wrong. It goes much beyond that. It's about creating an environment where your partner feels free to be herself, without fear of judgment, criticism, or abandonment. It means you can be her rock, her constant, in a world full of uncertainty. Now, how can you effectively provide emotional security? First, there's open and sincere communication. There's no room for games or manipulations here. When a woman knows she can trust you, that your words align with your actions, she feels secure. Another vital aspect is mutual respect. This is an essential component of any strong relationship and especially crucial for providing an emotionally secure environment. If you can show a woman that you value her opinion, respect her space and individuality, that brings an unparalleled level of emotional security. Additionally, consistency is key. You can't be emotionally stable and reliable only when it suits you or when you feel inspired. Emotional security requires consistency in your behavior, commitment level, and love. And last but not least, you must be emotionally self-sufficient to provide emotional security. If you're at peace with yourself, if you have a reasonable degree of emotional intelligence, then you can provide emotional stability that, in itself, is extremely attractive and reassuring for a woman. In summary, providing emotional security is an art that requires authenticity, commitment, and a deep understanding of both yourself and your partner. It's one of the most valued qualities you can offer in a relationship and a true sign of a high-value man. 2. Attraction to leadership. The attraction to leadership is another key element in the dynamics of relationships that should not be overlooked. In modern society, where gender lines are increasingly blurred, the concept of leadership has evolved, but its essence remains a fundamental pillar in attraction and sustainable relationships. We're not talking about dictatorial or egocentric leadership, but rather intelligent, compassionate, and self-assured leadership. A high-value man understands this difference. Leadership in a relationship is not about having total control or being the sole decision-maker. It's more about having the ability to guide the relationship in a positive direction, being a beacon during tough times, and an equally committed partner during easy times. And that, dear friend, is something many women find irresistible. One of the most effective ways to exert this type of leadership is by being an excellent listener and communicator. You can't lead if you don't understand the needs, desires, and concerns of your partner. When you can grasp these nuances and act in a way that benefits both, you are exercising effective leadership. Another aspect of leadership is the ability to make decisions. This doesn't mean making unilateral decisions but rather being able to make a decision after considering all variables and, if necessary, consulting with your partner. Indecision can be extremely unattractive and shows a lack of confidence and direction. Leadership also involves being willing to take the initiative in various areas of life, whether it's planning an outing, taking the lead in important conversations, or simply assuming responsibility for practical aspects of life. There's no room for passivity or indifference here. Additionally, leadership in a relationship involves knowing when it's time to follow instead of lead. This is a sign of maturity and shows that you understand a relationship is a team effort, not a dictatorship. In summary, attraction to leadership is not about power but a demonstration of the ability to lead, be a reliable partner, and create an environment where both can grow and be happy. It's a combination of strength and sensitivity, confidence, and humility. And if you can balance all of this with elegance, you'll position yourself as a high-value man in the mind and heart of your partner. 3. Desire for deep connection. The desire for a deep connection is a fundamental human longing, but it's especially significant when it comes to romantic relationships. You could have all the money in the world, the body of a Greek god, and the intelligence of a genius, but if you can't meaningfully connect with your partner, everything else fades into irrelevance. It's not just about physical chemistry or initial attraction, we're talking about a level of connection that goes beyond the superficial. To begin with, a high-value man understands that a deep connection is not something you force. It requires time, attention, and a genuine interest in getting to know the other person on all levels: mental, emotional, spiritual, and yes, physical too. And to achieve this, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, to drop the masks you wear and show your true self with all your imperfections and fears. Only then can you expect your partner to do the same. Now, how does this deep connection manifest? On a mental level, it could mean sharing similar interests or engaging in stimulating debates that challenge and expand your worldview. Emotionally, it's about feeling a kind of tranquility and comfort when you're together, a sense of being at home with each other. Spiritually, it might involve sharing similar values and life goals, or perhaps a sense of shared purpose. A high-value man also knows that a deep connection thrives on the quality of time spent with his partner, not just the quantity. This means being fully present during the time you spend together, actively listening, and engaging in meaningful conversations instead of letting your mind wander. But here's a caveat: you can't force a deep connection, you can't accelerate the process beyond its natural pace, and that's okay. Sometimes the connection is there from the beginning, other times it needs time to develop. The important thing is to be open to it, be prepared for it, and when the time comes, be willing to dive into it wholeheartedly. In conclusion, the desire for a deep connection is one of the most human and beautiful longings that women find irresistible. It's not a game but a deep yearning to understand and be understood, to love and be loved. 4. Appreciation for commitment. This is a quality that cannot be underestimated when it comes to serious and meaningful romantic relationships. Let's be clear here, commitment doesn't mean losing your freedom or individual identity. It's not a conscious choice to walk together on the journey of life, supporting each other, being better together than you could be apart. Many women value commitment because it represents stability, trust, and a promise that you're in this for the long haul. We're not just talking about rings, weddings, or relationship labels, we're talking about the ability to commit to the person, to the process of building something meaningful together, to the ability to work through challenges instead of running at the first sign of problems. A high-value man understands that commitment is a two-way street. It's not just about what you're getting from the relationship but also about what you're willing to put into it. This involves sacrifice, of course, but it's not a meaningless sacrifice, it's an investment in something greater. You're contributing to mutual growth, building a strong relationship based on mutual trust and respect. How do you manifest this commitment? Not just through words but through consistent actions. We're talking about things like making time for your partner even when you're busy, listening when she needs to talk, offering emotional support, and unconditional love. It also involves working together on issues instead of letting them pile up until they become insurmountable obstacles. Commitment doesn't mean you'll never have doubts or face challenges. On the contrary, you'll face many, but commitment means you're willing to address those challenges head-on instead of avoiding or running away from them. It means recognizing the value of what you have and being willing to do what it takes to protect and nurture it. In summary, the value of commitment is something that many women find tremendously attractive because it goes beyond the here and now, beyond physical attraction or passion. It represents a promise of the future, a future that both are willing to create and nurture. If you can show that you're a man capable of that level of commitment, you'll be positioning yourself as a high-value man in your partner's life. 5. Sensitivity to nonverbal communication. Undoubtedly, sensitivity to nonverbal communication is one of those skills that separate the average man from the high-value man in the world of relationships. Don't underestimate the power of body language, micro-expressions, and tone of voice. These are subtle indicators that often convey much more than words. If you're tuned in to detect them and respond appropriately, you place yourself in a position of strength in any relationship. Women, in general, are highly sensitive to nonverbal communication. They can tell if you're distracted, uninterested, or completely focused on them simply by how you behave. This is where the game changes for a high-value man. This type of man understands that real communication goes beyond the words that come out of his mouth. It's about how he looks at his partner, how he touches her, how he positions himself in relation to her. When you tune into your partner's nonverbal language, you show her that you're truly committed to understanding her and the relationship itself. You're demonstrating empathy, mindfulness, and a willingness to communicate on a deeper level. That, my friend, is a level of understanding and connection that goes beyond the superficial and is incredibly attractive to many women. But this is not something you can fake. People can detect incongruence between your words and your body language. Therefore, if you truly want to improve in this area, you have to practice authenticity. You have to be fully present during your interactions, and you have to be willing to listen, not just with your ears but with your entire being. At the end of the day, sensitivity to nonverbal communication is about being fully engaged in the moment, about listening to understand rather than listening to respond, and about showing with your own body language that you're authentic, you care, and you're fully invested in the relationship. So there you have it. If you can master this crucial aspect of communication in relationships, you'll be positioning yourself as a high-value man, someone who understands that love, connection, and communication are much more than words. They're acts, gestures, and subtleties that, when added up, create a complete picture of a strong and healthy relationship. Final reflection, and that concludes today's wonderful video. But before I go, you need to know that these 5 weaknesses we've explored are not really weaknesses. They're opportunities to better understand women and, therefore, create stronger, more meaningful, and rewarding relationships. A high-value man doesn't see these qualities as points of exploitation but as areas where he can invest his time, emotional energy, and relational intelligence. By doing so, you're not only elevating yourself as an individual but also contributing to the well-being and happiness of your partner. And that, my friends, is the true hallmark of a high-value man. If this content resonated with you, if you feel you've gained value from what we've discussed here today, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here, we're working every day to become the best versions of ourselves, to be high-value men in all areas of our lives. You wouldn't want to miss what's coming next. So click that subscribe button and be part of this community of men who are changing the game. See you in the next video.